So as always, welcome back, guys. And I actually wanted to talk about a stock today that I think it has the potential to 2x, maybe even 5x, depending on whether the merger goes through, which should be going through just fine. On the 31st is the merger date, and that stock that we're going to talk about today, it's BBIG. Of course, I had to put the rocket ship emojis at least 3 times to get my point across, because that's how things work today. Now I want to talk about this stock because they are merging on March 31st, which is next Wednesday. If you're watching the video today on March 25th, 2020. Now the merger is going to be with Zash, and that brings in a platform called, I don't even know how to pronounce it, so I'm just going to spell it. Lomotif. Lomotif. I even said it. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm positive that I'm saying it wrong, most likely. Now, this stock actually had an initial spike back in January. If you believe so, we can zoom out on the chart here, 1 month. Yep. Actually, I'm not sure if this is it. Nope, this is not it. We should go back a little bit farther. Yep, here it is. This stock actually spiked incredibly to $9.40 from, it looks to be $1.85. It spiked to 9.4 that day. Of course, the initial news was that BBIG, which is a ticker symbol, Vinco Ventures, probably saying that wrong as well, actually was going to do a deal with Lomotif. Was going to merge back in January. Now, of course, Lomotif is actually a TikTok competitor. I believe that they're mostly based in Singapore. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. The platform's actually very similar to TikTok. In fact, if you were to look at it and try to make a difference from TikTok, I don't think you would actually find any difference at all. It's obviously just short videos, which have you have about 15 to a minute to grab everybody's attention, and that's obviously how they work. You can't even say that that's copying, because it's basically just a short video with music and dances. And Lomotif brings around the same thing that TikTok brings to the table, so it would obviously be a competitor, which if they do expand, which I believe that I read that they did have plans to expand, according to Forbes at least, into the United States. I'm sure that they should be expanding here soon. You want to get everything you can out of the market. I'm sure that they'll soon be expanding here, which is at least what they told Forbes. Now, and if we look at the merger details, so Lomotif claims that it has more than 2 billion views. That is their platform. They claimed a little bit more as well. Positive that and Zash also claims, which is a global media network, claims that it has more than 350 million users worldwide. So obviously this deal has a lot of popularity along with it. Obviously this is going to be an enormous deal, because also on top of those two things, the Honey Badger Media, which is a subsidiary of BBIG, Vinco Features, has its own network that actually has more views, which I'm going to explain a little bit more in the next slide that we go to. And to put an ice on the cake, they're getting an 80% stake in Lomotif. Maybe I'm sick of saying it around. Lomotif. They're getting a majority stake. That's 80% is actually a pretty huge stake. I thought they were gonna get like maybe a 30 or a 50%, but to get 80%, of course, usually companies that have the majority stake can usually take over completely to fully own the company. We'll see how that goes. As for now, it's clear that they're getting an 80% stake, according to Forbes. And the underlying deal for Lomotif, here's what we have for them. So it seems that it was Zash that got the 2 billion views, not Lomotif, but probably could be them as well. The underlying deal is that they have more than more than 300 million short music videos per month. I tried to divide that by 2 and get the actual number to get their active users. Now, of course, after the merger, I'm sure we'll get those details sooner or later. But it'd be great to get those details so we can get an accurate comparison to compare to Snapchat, maybe Twitter, Facebook, because of course this is social media and they're going to be competing in that space. They have more than 225 million app installations in 200 countries, both on iOS, Apple, and Android apps. Of course, I underline the part again, which is 80% of the stake in Lomotif, which is again just a huge deal. You're owning basically the entire thing, and usually the person with the majority stake usually takes over the other one and pushes them out, so they can be the final owners of that when it comes to ownership. So I'm sure they'll soon push them out. Happen the same. It has happened many times. Even if you look at today, I believe that Hulu, Disney finally pushed out AT&T. I believe that was the other owner out of the deal, and finally I believe that they have more ownership. I'm not sure how much, but it was always like this between Hulu and AT&T, where they both own half of it, and they finally got, and Disney I think finally pushed them out. Not sure if I'm remembering that story correct, but that seems to be the point when it comes to that. And then we have the final one, which is BBIG and the Honey Badger. Now, I don't have a lot of information on this one because I could frankly not find anything. If you go to their website, which all these links for all these things, including the merger, I'm going to leave it under the description so you guys can take a look at it. The Honey Badger, which is a subsidiary of Vinco Ventures, seems to have a network. It's kind of like an influencer network where, according to, and for another website, of course, has to be verified, 1.5 billion monthly views and 10 billion views each year. So it's a pretty large network. It's more like I see that it's a brand where you come to them, and it seems that they build and help you build your brand. I'm not sure, not too shaky on that because I just had a quick look at it, and of course I wasn't, there wasn't any investor relation page that I could look at to make sure that everything, to see what exactly they do and if they make any money at it, because I'm sure that BBIG is the actual item that you could look at to get all the details on the Honey Badger. I'm sure if you go to their investors page, all the information should be there. They have about 350 million active fans, which is a huge amount. I mean, if you were to divide that by per month, I'm sure that you get between. Let's actually run the numbers here to make sure that we have the accurate information. If that was per month, that'd be about 30 million. Around 30 million active fans per month, which is a massive amount when it comes to people that want to build their brands and active people, and I'm sure that is actually a pretty large amount of where BBIG gets most of their cash from, if it is monetized or not, because usually when you build brands, you usually just keep them tight. You don't really want to monetize, or if it's a platform, I'm sure you want to just spread out the brand and keep it growing until then you can finally monetize, similar to what Facebook did, where they didn't really put all those ads till they had a large enough network, and that way, well, now you have ads, but I mean, even with the platform so long, that you're not just going to leave, so you're going to stay with them, obviously. Now, the next part, I wanted to do some chart analysis, and this chart is pretty rocky. Here I have, of course, a couple indicators of RSI, which I actually haven't put it correctly. It's kind of still between 30 and 70. I usually like to keep it about 50, so I did not do that one yet. And I have the slow touch, and I have MACD. Now, I'm usually not a guy that does technical analysis because I kind of don't really believe that really works. But at the same time, I can see that when my friends show me graphs, you can definitely find some type of correlation between graphs and and the technical analysis that they do, I'm sure you could definitely find some correlation between them. It's just me. It's just my personal thoughts that I don't really believe that it actually works as other people use it, and I know that they religiously use works where I just don't think it works. But that's a different topic for another conversation. But what I do believe is in volume, and that's definitely what I do. And over the past 5 days, volume has been consistently higher. I believe since we hit that low on March 5th, the stock has of course, as you can see, it has been steadily picking up. As of course we get to March 31st, which is going to be next Wednesday, and I'm sure that the stock will be at least, I think I'm looking for at least $5-6. That's why I think it can 2x. Right now, today is, as you can see, it's a little rocky. Currently down 16% in the pre-market, but I think that is more due to SPY lately just being really, really tricky to predict. SPY has been on this monster just volatility. It's kind of like trading a low flow penny stock. It's been really crazy, and I'm sure you guys have been and have. If you're a swing trader, it has not been a really good time for you. Obviously, swing traders are not doing very well in this market. Day traders should be doing just fine. But obviously, SPY has just been having a terrible just volatility that you can barely predict where it's going to go. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense after being up 60 to 100% since the March low. It obviously makes a lot of sense. I mean, SPY bottomed at 218, and since then it's been on just a tear to almost 400. Well, which it hit 398. I believe that was the all-time high. Yep, 398.12. That's obviously almost a double. So I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I can't justify stocks going up for the next couple of months after that crazy performance. And now we're at the point where we have the vaccine, we're traveling again, businesses are opening up, unemployment's picking back up, and the stock market is just like, screw this, I'm out. Because obviously we ran up so much, with expectations, and then we had the period where only penny stocks went up. Every penny stock went from being under a dollar to being a dollar, as there was so much money in the markets. But now we're at a crossroads where SPY can't really decide where to go, and obviously it's been really volatile, and swing traders have had obviously a hard market to deal with, while day traders, I'm sure, are doing very well and positioning themselves, and of course running up right now on the NFTs case, which is another thing that BBIG could have some type of connection to, but I don't want to put that out because it's not really something to really put out there, because hence it's not even confirmed. And though they could have some type of connection, I doubt it. But if they were to say, that would be obviously great. The stock could soar to $10 by just putting out that news and confirming that there are going to be. Now obviously here right now I only have 2 calls. I bought a couple calls. I have BBIG $5 April 21st, and then I also gave me May 21st another $5 call in case let's say that $5 was too ambitious, because when I'm giving price targets, I want to be really conservative instead of being really, really aggressive. I don't want to be really, really, really aggressive and then be completely wrong. The minimum target that I have for BBIG is that it'll hit $5. It already hit $4.80 the other day without even being the merger, as I think that we're gonna see an enormous spike. I believe Friday, through Wednesday, as the merger date is going to be the 31st, and then we're going to get the press release, and I think we should see a large spike, and that's why I have those current options. Now, I did have a position earlier, but I actually sold out a bit, and I'm looking for re-entry. Obviously, right now I was clearly right to do that, because right now the stock is trading at 289, which it might be time for me to actually enter a position on it. But my target for this one is $5. I think that we'll definitely see that, because this is obviously a TikTok competitor, and this social media platforms bring a lot of, lately, I guess you could say, with the pandemic, have brought a lot of more people to their platforms, because obviously people were stuck at home for a long time. And when we get that investor relation and when we see all their numbers, it'll be a nice comparison to compare it to Snapchat, Facebook. Obviously, maybe I would have said Instagram, but Facebook, I don't think Facebook releases those numbers yet. So those will be nice comparisons to compare BBIG to once we get that information about how many people are on the app monthly, what if there are any revenues, and if they're actually profitable yet, which obviously I doubt. Usually companies like this are not usually profitable. It takes them a couple years to get there and monetize their platform. But it's all about popularity with this. If you can get a lot of people on your platform, then obviously you are doing very well. Again, that was it, guys. Thank you guys for watching. As I said, I was going to leave all the information. I'm going to leave it on the description, where I got all this information from Forbes and from articles, and of course from the March 31st date, which was actually on the SAC. I'm going to try to leave all that information in the description. If you guys can, please leave me a like and subscribe. I'll come back with another video. It's most likely going to be about STPK. That's a very promising stock, that at least I think so. It's most likely going to be about this stock, which hit a 51 earlier this year on February, and then after that it corrected, and obviously it's still correcting. This is probably going to be my next video, so we'll see about that. Thank you guys for watching, and you have a great day.